Hello everyone, it is John and it's another roleplay waffle and let's see if I can get him up. Here he is. Here's the producer. Hey, he says I'm getting a haircut very shortly. I booked him in. Took 2 weeks to make a booking to get this chap done. Yes, and then I said to him, oh, maybe I should give you a bath. And he went, doesn't like the word. It doesn't like the word bath, but anyway. What is today's bit of a waffle about? Look, many years ago, back in the dim, dark ages of my early role-playing, there was a supplement role-play game, Tunnels and Trolls. Anyway, this one here is Monsters, and you get to play the monsters. And of course, this has got me thinking, with my divergence of thoughts and that the premise with monsters was that you would play the monsters, and you would get to do all the things that everybody accuses player characters of being. Nothing more than a mob of murderous, unthinking people. But in this one here, it says, I love the opening here for Monsters. It says, in the wonderful desert city of Phoenix, where Tunnels and Trolls first made its appearance as the poor man's alternative to the expensive other role-playing game. I love that. Yes, well, let's have a dig at them. An interesting phenomenon soon appeared. After a few promising characters had gone down to defeat beneath the bludgeon blows of giants, trolls, ogres, orcs, and malignant stone giants, after dragons, balrogs, and salamanders had incinerated a few rash adventurers, after that green puddle on the floor turned out to be highly corrosive slime amoeba, it reached the point where, at the least sign of trouble, people would bolt for the exit, shrieking, "Monsters! Monsters!" Not long after that, the same catchy battle cry of "Monsters! Monsters!" began to be heard at any undesirable situation, such as my arrival at a science fiction club meeting, or upon entering the kitchen and encountering last fortnight's dirty dishes about me. So it's only natural that eventually the monsters should come out of their tunnels and dungeons to strike back at the smug world of the men, elves, dwarves, hobbits, etc., who had been so greedily despoiling their homes and treasures. This turning of the tables to play monsters as protagonists has proven to be even more hilarious than the original games. A monster lives by a completely different code of ethics, affording a splendid opportunity to get rid of the impure, perverted impulses which affect most of us. Impulses it's hard to express while playing a hero. I don't know, I've known far too many heroes that I would not even classify as heroes. Probably more gangsters, I think, than anything. Monsters get experience points for wanton cruelty and destruction above and beyond the call of duty. Look, honestly, if you can get yourself this, and again, it really comes down to how a person or a game master will run an adventure, and you enjoy yourself. The game mechanisms don't have to be brilliant. It's all about having fun and deciding what you're doing. So if you've got D&D, because once again the stats again for Tunnels and Trolls come fairly close, except for I think it's luck. I think luck's the only thing. So you got strength, intelligence, they've included luck. You've got constitution, dexterity, charisma. So you do have 6 traits. Luck, I don't know what luck would equate to. What's that? Strength, constitution, intelligence, wisdom. Is luck the equivalent of wisdom? No, I wouldn't classify that at all. But look, for one-off little adventures, you can have all your characters polymorphed into various monsters and have them play the, leading the ravening hordes of monsters to go and sack a city and not feel any qualms about it. Yes? No? Does that sound too diabolical? Probably does, doesn't it? But it's an interesting concept because there's a lot of, I believe they call them lit RPG novels floating around where there's character building and dungeon calls and things like that. And I quite like the concept of dungeon calls. And I was wondering, how can that be incorporated within a role-playing game, particularly, say, D&D, where, do you then have an NPC dungeon call and the players get to represent the lieutenants or captains of particular groups of monsters, and you set up play where the players are defending their dungeon against incoming heroes. So if you know quite a few people, which I do, and of course trying to get everybody together to do these sorts of things would probably be interesting, but you could play it that one group plays the monsters and another group, play their normal D&D characters or whatever system you wish to run with, and have them battle each other. And, you can... I think personally as a game master that would give me so much entertainment to see how you'd give the monsters resources with which to obviously replenish their dungeon or to reset traps or to be able to marshal forces to to try and stop the characters from the heroes, the traditional heroes from role-playing games rampaging through their home. So I think that's probably something for people to have a think about, is that there's quite a lot of them out there that I like. I'm trying to think some of the I can't remember them, but I'll probably throw some little pictures up somewhere along about some of my favorite ones. But the whole concept is quite it's quite good, and it's interesting. Again, I don't keep a great eye on what's happening in the role-playing world of creation, but haven't seen a lot of people deal with the reversal role. So, look, if you know any, please tell me. I'd be quite interested to have a look at them. Hopefully they'd be nice and cheap on drive-through, which is sadly my source these days. We just heard the other day that Australia Post is put an embargo on all shipments coming into Australia by boat because people are sending illegal things through the post, and Australia Post can't deal with it. And I'm thinking, I tell you what, you'd be really, really grumpy if you had something coming by boat, it was just about to arrive, and it's sent back. Because they're not processing them. They're not keeping them stored away and go, well, we'll process them once we get to it. No, they're sending it back to whichever country your items have come from. And I tell you what, I'm not overly happy with Australia Post. It's almost like, we want people to use our postal service, the air service for freighting stuff in rather than the somewhat cheaper boat option, even though time, I guess, is not exactly cheap, is it? But yeah, look, that's a digression. But yeah, have a look at Monsters. It's from, well, in my days it was from Flying Buffalo. My edition is the second printing, which was November 1979. So yes, tad bit old, but again, it's what you get to do and make out of a role-playing system, and enjoy the role-playing is the main thing that you should be looking at. So look, until next time, the producer's now gone back to sleep. He's gone, thank God. He said, I'm not getting back up to do another one, are you? Hey, you don't want to come up, Pip? No, sorry, he's refusing to come. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching this bit of a waffle. And until next time, signing off, the Honourable John.